Welcome back to the Course Creation Incubator. I'm Gina Onativia, and as an online course coach and consultant, I get to work with done-for-you clients, course students, coaching clients each and every day. And I'm always looking out for strategies for my different course creators to connect to their audiences in new ways, especially strategies that don't take a lot of money and don't have a huge learning curve. Video is one of those areas. Now, I think if you're listening right now, you already know how valuable video can be for nurturing your audience. But if you're anything like me or many of my course creators, you're also using video in a very small way and maybe even optimizing it for your campaigns to actually promote your online course. And that's why I wanted to bring Oli Bridge from Bonjoro over to the podcast. This guy knows video. And more important, knows how to use it thoughtfully in terms of our marketing. So I wanted to bring on Oli and all of his knowledge so we could hear how to better use video in terms of how to sell our course. Okay, let's listen in. Oli, welcome to the Course Creation Incubator podcast. I'm so excited to have you on.
Thanks for having me on. I'm really excited to share what I can with you and your audience.
Awesome. Okay, let's start with how to use video properly with our campaigns, because I know a lot of times my course creators know the value of using video with their content marketing, but sometimes we don't recognize the value of using video with our marketing campaigns. So I know you talk about 3 touches and where video works best. Can you walk us through those?
Yeah, absolutely. So I try and think in terms of sort of 3s on 2 levels. So the first one in terms of touches is really like where video works in your funnel. So just quickly, I'll say that I think there's been a bit of a shift from like video hosting to like personal video, and anybody in an organization being able to use video, and particularly business owners and course creators being able to use video when it's not just sort of video hosting stuff.
Right.
So the way I think about it is I talk about low touch, medium touch, and high touch. So when I'm thinking about sort of low touch interactions with customers or with leads, I'm really thinking, okay, it's going to be sort of really like transactional stuff. And that's where you're going to probably lean more on sort of automations and things that are going to go out to sort of larger audiences. And then I think more about sort of medium touch points in your funnel where I guess you want to educate people. So, I'm talking about sort of one-to-many, maybe slightly smaller groups like VIPs, warm audiences, where you might lean on something like, I don't know, like screen recording. So if you want to do a screen recording and share it with a fairly small list and educate them on something in particular. Really where we're focused as a business and where I think video is getting quite interesting at the moment is very, very high touch stuff. And when I talk about high touch, I'm talking about really more trying to drive action from people. So sort of low and medium touch are good, but I think you're going to struggle sometimes to really get the person on the other end to actually sort of take action with whatever you're doing. So for me, when you want to drive action or get a response or get someone clicking on something or get them to engage with you or join your community, whatever it might be, I think you need to do stuff a bit more high touch. And when I talk to about that with video, I'm thinking more about one-to-one. So I'm going to talk, I guess, today more about that sort of personal video aspect, which is engaging particular leads or particular students with very highly personal videos recorded just for them.
Okay, I love this, and I love this strategy for my course creators. And I think what you're saying is, say we run a webinar campaign. Once we've done those webinars or those master classes and we segment it down to those we know are more engaged, we hit them with the high touch because we know they're engaged. They might be our VIP segment and we want to connect with them in a different way. Is that right?
Yeah, you've got it absolutely right. Yeah.
Okay, great. So can you give me an example of a course creator who's just starting out who used the high touch strategy or video with their course campaign?
Yeah, I'll give you an example. Again, I sort of split into 3. So when I'm thinking about high touch, I think it works really nicely. And I guess 3 points in the funnel. One is conversion. So trying to win more customers. The second one is activation. So when they're in the door, how do you get them really using what you have sold them? How do you get them sort of learning and engaged and keep them around? And then reactivation, which is, I guess, winning them back as well. So people that might be on your list, you want to get them back in. So this one, I'll give you an example. A lady called Tracy who runs a company called Video Script Success. And what she does, and it's a really cool funnel and a really cool way of using video, and I love it, which is, like many course creators, she creates lead magnets. And when she captures someone's email via a lead magnet, what she was previously doing, so before she started using personal video, she was just sending sort of normal standard automated emails to her list, or sending newsletters out to try and encourage them to join her community. So she runs a Facebook community, and it's in her Facebook community where she tries to nurture some of her leads and turn them eventually into paying customers and get them to buy her courses. So her switch and her big pivot was that she started, instead of doing those standard emails, she started sending personal videos to the people that she had captured emails from her lead magnets, and her conversion rate from getting them to sign up into her Facebook group, so to come into that place where she can really nurture them perfectly, went from about 7% to 55%.
Wow.
Just an unbelievable jump. And I just really like that strategy. I think it's really cool. And it's something, I guess, that every course creator could be doing.
So instead of sending out the typical email sequence when we have our lead magnets or our opt-ins, she's making videos to welcome folks and then invite them to her Facebook group?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
I love that. That's a great strategy.
It's great. And if you watch it, we've got a blog on our website. If you head to our blog, the Bonjoro blog, just Google it. And we've written about it, and we've got examples of her videos on there. Actually, it's really cool to watch them. She does them in all sorts of different locations and really tries to hit that, I guess, sort of like casual, friendly vibe. So she's not, it's just really nice way of doing things. So yeah, head to the blog and check them out if you want.
Okay, I'll link to that in the show notes. So
cool.
Since we're talking so much about videos, I know that there's certain elements that we want to make sure we include. And some of this is a little bit foundational, Oli, but I think it's worth visiting, especially since we have you, such an expert on. Talk to me about the different elements that we need, like a call to action, things like that for our videos.
Yeah, there's lots of elements, but actually they're all, when you break it down, they're actually all quite simple. So the first one is like where you're going to record. The key thing when you're recording videos, I think a lot of people, the obstacle for lots of people, I think, is that fear of video a little bit.
Yeah.
For me, it's like, where do you want to record your videos? Are you the sort of person that's comfortable at your desk? Like, you can use a web application to record your videos. So on Bonjoro, we've got a web app and you can record them. I do them here. I've got my home office now. I work from home. But when I used to work in a co-working space, it was like, I didn't like other people overhearing me.
Right.
I'd go out the office at lunchtime, take my mobile app, and I'd use the mobile app to record my videos. So I think that's number one. Like, wherever you're going to be most yourself, like, record them with that device. So whether it's your computer or whether it's your mobile phone. So that's the first choice. And I think that's really crucial, because being yourself is really key. The second bit, and it's interesting, this one, is subject lines. So personal videos are pretty different to like email marketing subject lines.
Yes.
So we actually looked at, we've had like 2 million videos sent with Bonjoro, and the same rules just don't apply. So email marketing, if you go on any, like if you Google best subject lines for whatever, you'll get a long list coming back, and they're all like quite tricksy and like trying to get, trying to sort of like outsmart.
Right, trying to hook you.
Yeah, trying to hook you. But with personal video, the funny thing is the top 10, and again, we did a blog about this, top 10 personal video subject lines, the top 10 were all really simple. And they had 3 things in common. One was to actually include the word personal in it, to make sure they know this thing is like just for them. So whether it's the word personal or whether it's something that shows that this thing is just for them. The second one is to make sure you've got the word video in there, because you've taken the time, you've recorded a video, make sure they know that it's a video. And it's funny because when you look, if you looked in your email inbox, imagine if you've got something in there that says something like a personal video recorded just for you. You're not going to gloss over it. You're going to be like,
no, not at all. I'm going to be excited.
So personal, making sure the word video is in there, and something like for you, just make it explicit that this thing is for them. If you've taken the time to record something for them, let them know in that subject line. You're definitely going to get that open. The curiosity is going to be piqued by that. And as I say, it's quite different from email marketing. The third thing is like thumbnails. Thumbnails are key. So once they've opened your email, they're going to be looking at your video thumbnail, right? And whether this is a static thumbnail, whether it's a GIF, and you can choose between the two on something like on a platform like Bonjoro. Smile. maybe a little wave. Like you'll get used to, like we've recorded thousands of videos here, and you'll get used to sort of putting your hand up like right in tight, like close to your face, so it gets in the shot. And also another little trick that we've heard a lot of people have a lot of success with is maybe writing that person's name on like a little whiteboard where you can just scrub it out and do the next person's name. Again, that's like reinforcing that like this thing is definitely for them.
Yes. So I like what you're saying about the subject lines, because I feel like sometimes, and I'm guilty of this as anyone, we get cutesy, right? Instead of just telling them what's happening. And I love this idea of saying this video is for you. I bet Tracy does that, going back to her lead magnets and the videos that she's creating, right, to capture their attention. So, and I think that's really smart, and builds that connection with them, right? And builds that feeling of more intimacy with them.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's just that less fretting, isn't it? You know, I'm a marketer, and I spend so much time fretting over subject lines, and the less you can do that and the simpler you can make them, and actually the more you can stand out against. It's funny, everybody wants to stand out in the inbox, and if you glance over, we just had Black Friday, right? If you glance through 100 emails, they're all going to be quite similar in the way they're trying to like structure and get your click. But actually, if one of those was just like, here's a video that we made for you, you'd be like, what? Like, what do you mean? And you have a look at it. So
it automatically stands out. Yeah, I agree. Yeah. So you mentioned wanting to stand out, right? And rise above all the noise. And you as a marketer know how tough that can be. So a lot of times for course creators, my course creators who are starting out and they're trying to figure out who their audience is, what offer I should put out, I tell them to survey their audience. And they're doing great jobs with their surveys, Oli, but sometimes it's tough to get those survey responses, as I'm sure you know as a marketer. I know you have a strategy with this with video. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah, absolutely. So it's something we do here anyway internally. So we use video to drive two types of surveys actually here. So we look for case studies because we know case studies are absolutely like are critical to understanding your own business, right? Like when you get a good case study, you can really understand like where you're making an impact and go more down that direction. And then the second thing is cancellations. And again, that's key because you can change your offer a little bit. So the thing for me is just to look for that trigger event. So for your business or for your course, like what's that trigger event where someone's taken that step that either they've cancelled or they're maybe getting success. Like the case studies one, you want to find out what is that point where you know someone's definitely having success. Like example here at Bonjoro, if someone sent 100 videos of Bonjoro, we're pretty certain they're like having a pretty good time. So we will trigger an event in Bonjoro to then record a video for that person, a personal video where we say, oh, we'd love to talk to you about your success with Bonjoro or your usage with Bonjoro. Click on the button, the call to action button next to this video to lock in a call with me, and we'll put in our Calendly link. So this is something you could do. So it's like, look at those like trigger events, whether they're good or whether they're bad, and those opportunities to engage your customers based on those, and record them a personal video. So it's really about, and that's the beauty, I guess, of Bonjoro, is you can create these workflows around personal video. So all you have to do is wait for that thing to happen. And then you get notified in Bonjoro and you can record your video. So, you know, there's no sort of like trying to sort of figure out, okay, when should I do this? Once you set it up once, you're just getting notified and you're recording these things, and you're going to get a lot more engagement, and people are going to be happy to share more information with you. And whether you get them on a call or whether you just link straight to your survey, you're definitely going to see a real boost in engagement of those.
Okay, so
I guess it's reciprocation, right? If you've taken the time to ask them, they're going to say, oh yeah, I feel pretty obliged now to offer my time back to you. So,
and then if I'm just starting out and I don't have what you're calling these trigger events, I can still offer a video to my small audience, right? So say I have an audience of under 200, reaching out to maybe going back to those VIPs or a segment of that audience and making videos and a personal connection with them to complete a survey. Is that another good strategy if I'm just starting out?
Yeah, totally. So if you've got an existing list, no matter the size of that list, using personal video to engage with it is just a good idea. Anyway, whether it's surveys or something else, and we might talk about that later in terms of like reactivation and things, I just think that's a good idea. So it really doesn't matter the size of your list, and it doesn't actually matter if you have those trigger events. Just give it a shot. Like the thing we say here always is at Bonjoro, like send 10 videos. When you send 10 videos, you'll see the power of this thing that you're doing, and you'll definitely, get these great responses and engagement, and you'll start to see sort of that this thing just works. It's really interesting.
Okay, I really love that. And it's another strategy. And to your point, it doesn't matter how small your list is. It doesn't matter if you're just starting out. This is something that you can implement immediately, which I know a lot of times my listeners might object to things like, well, I'm just starting out, or I don't have that list yet. That's okay. But I did want to wrap with one final tip. If I'm feeling a little bit overwhelmed right now with my course creation and my marketing, and this is one more piece, like, oh my gosh, how am I going to implement video? Like, what can you leave us with? One simple tip just to get started right now.
So I think do the simplest thing. So it goes back to our previous point, doesn't matter how big your list is, just think about I'd say take your current list and stop trying to figure out too much, like the smartsy stuff we were talking about before with email marketing. Give personal video a shot. And I think in two ways. One is, why not just send a video to people on your list that you think might be fairly sort of warm, and invite them on a call. Like if you're offering, say you're doing B2B type courses, invite them on a call to learn more about their business challenges. Just get to understand your customer better. Like everybody talks about this, you need to understand your customers to sell great products and to grow your business. So invite them on a call and just see how that goes. It's a simple one to do. And then the second one, I think, leaning on Tracy's example earlier, video script success. But you don't have to set up a funnel like Tracy has. But just go out to your current list and invite them to your community. Like if you have a community, if you don't have a community, maybe sort of build a small one. And just see what happens when you try and invite that person into your community, whether you host it on Facebook or Discord or Circle.so, whatever it might be. Doing that invite piece in a really personal way is such a simple thing. Just take a day, take tomorrow if you've listened to this, and just say, okay, I'm going to send out 20 videos to people on my list and invite them to my community and see what happens. I really believe as a marketer in doing simple things that you can control. So not trying to be too growth hacky. Do this thing that you can control, and actually I think it breeds a lot of confidence because you feel very active and intentional with the stuff that you're doing.
I love, and not slimy, right? You feel active and intentional, but not slimy. It's a connecting piece, right? And it's a personal piece. So I think that is a great place to start. Listen to Oli. Just send out 20 videos or 10 videos. Segment your list. And you're talking about sending the video and then getting on a strategy call. This is a great grassroots way to sell your course, of founding members into your course. So that's a great strategy. I think the point is here, just get started, get your feet wet, like you're saying, Oli. Where can listeners learn more about getting started with Bonjoro?
So if you go to bonjoro.com, so bonjoro.com, we do a free 14-day trial. We actually also have a free plan. So if you any paid plans are custom branded videos. So if you don't want to brand your videos, you can use our free plan forever.
Okay.
And then apart from that, the second piece, if you just Google video funnel playbook. So earlier this year, I put together a playbook of all sorts of different ways you can use video in your business, and it includes ways that course creators can use personal video. So just Google video funnel playbook, or if you can put the link in the show notes, then
yes,
really good place to just learn about different ways you can use video to get growth for your business. So start there.
Okay, that's great. And if you guys check out those video funnel playbooks and you have more questions, we'll bring Oli back and we could drill down even further, because I know you could take us even further, Oli. We wanted to start from a simpler place and non-overwhelming place, and then we can build on that so we can have you back for a deeper conversation.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, that'd be perfect.
All right. Thanks so much.
Thank you.
I loved having Oli on. I feel like I need to have him back on so you and I can work on more video marketing strategies. Let me know if you have any questions about this episode. Drop me a line over at Insta at Course Creation Boutique. I'll see you next week, and please rate and review this episode, especially if you're listening on iTunes, and then subscribe wherever or however you're listening so you don't miss one course creation tip. Until then, go create, be you and be brilliant, and get your course done.